Hey friends, it's Kate from the Fletcher Free Library, and I'm so happy to see you today. Actually, I can't see you, but you can see me, and I'm excited because it's hot outside. It's like 70 degrees in Vermont today, which is pretty exciting, and I am going to share with you my love of dandelions. I think they're delightful, actually. And not everyone agrees with me. Some people even think that they're weeds and they take them out of their lawns and gardens. I know, I can't believe it. But I'm a big fan of dandelions. It's one of the first flowers that blooms in Vermont, and it's the first food for bees in the spring. Um, they're yellow. Look how beautiful they are. They're yellow and bright and cheery, which makes me happy to see them, especially when nothing else is blooming. And actually, they really are weeds. They're not supposed to be here. They're invasive species, but they do such a great job surviving. And we're going to learn a little bit about that today. And I bet you're going to become as big a fan as I am. And I'm such a big fan. I even got it tattooed on my arm. I like dandelions so much. I know, it's hard to believe. So I hope you will come away with an appreciation just like mine. So I want to share with you some neat facts about dandelions, and then we'll get into some observations and things you can do at home with dandelions. So the name dandelion is actually from a French word, and it's Dandelion, and that means the teeth of a lion. And this is what their leaves look like, and that's how it's got its name. So they have big jagged teeth, Dandelion, and when it got translated into English, it became dandelion. So you can see how that might have happened. So they have a really cool name. They are so useful. You can eat them. You can make them into teas. You can eat the leaves in salads. You can boil the flowers and make it into jam. You can make it into dyes to make colors for your clothes, a green or a yellow. So really useful. You can eat all parts of the dandelion. I know. So if you're really hungry or adventurous, please talk to your family first, but you might want to try some dandelion treats. They don't have any predators, just us. We're the only thing that kills dandelions. Maybe a freak snowstorm in July, but hopefully that won't happen. And they seed themselves. So if you remember, you've seen dandelion seeds, and I'm going to show you those soon. We don't have to do anything. They take care of it all themselves. Every year they come back up. So I challenge you to think like a scientist, and I'm hoping you will want to keep a dandelion notebook or an observation notebook. And the idea would be, over the course of a couple weeks, that you would follow a couple dandelions in your yard to see how they grow, how their flowers change, how they change from being a flower to then having seeds and then seeding themselves. So I want to start with showing you the life cycle of a dandelion, and I think you can see this. So when it first comes up, it's all closed up, and then you can see the flowers developing, and finally it opens all the way up and it looks like one of these, right? That's what we think of when we see dandelions. And then here's what's really neat. When it's getting ready to make its seeds, it closes back up and stays closed. Kind of looks like it's dying, and the flowers start to turn brown, and then it starts to get fluffy inside, and then you get a dandelion ready to go to seed, and it looks like this. You've probably seen those too. That's the same plant. This and this are the same plant, just different parts of the plant cycle. The flower and then the seeds. So, and then at the very end, sometimes this is with all the seeds blown off. So that's the life cycle of a dandelion from start to finish. Okay? So one thing that I did, which I think you would really enjoy doing, is I took a dandelion and I ripped it in half so that I could see the cross section. Okay? I'm going to show you a picture of that too. This is a cross section of a dandelion. And then you can see each of these, we call this a flower, just one flower, but actually each of these little yellow pieces is one flower on its own. So each dandelion has actually 100 to 150 flowers in just one head. It's kind of a neat thing. So you're going to be able to see that if you rip one apart. You also might want to pull apart the stem a little and notice that when you break the stem that it has some juice. And if you have a hand lens at home, you could make some observations about what comes out of the stem and what the stem looks like. I'm noticing that my stem is hollow, which is pretty cool. Some other things you might want to do with your observations, other than looking through a hand lens or ripping it apart and making a cross section, is you might want to be using a ruler every day and measuring how tall they grow. So for example, this one that I picked is, let's see, 3 inches with its flower up. And then this is one that kept growing all the way to its seeds. Oh my goodness, this one is 10 inches. 7 inches taller than the first one. Beginning, end. And this is really super cool. This is actually the thing I like most about dandelions, is when a dandelion is finished being beautiful and yellow and it's getting ready to make its seeds, it closes up, remember, and then it grows really fast. It grows like 7 inches and it gets way up high into the air so that when the wind blows, guess what happens? It catches the seeds like that. So that's an adaptation that this plant has to making sure its seeds go far and wide. If it was just a teeny tiny plant, its seeds wouldn't go very far, but because this is high in the air, the seeds go all over the place. And in fact, they've measured them farther than a mile away, which is pretty cool. So you have lots of things you could do. You can measure how tall they're getting each day and how it's changing. You can use a hand lens to get really close to your plant and see what you notice, maybe about colors or textures or all the little pieces of flower in there. So many things to observe, and over 2 weeks, I bet you're going to find out a lot of things about dandelions, about when they're open and when they're closed and when if they change at night. Oh, and I have one more fact. I learned this when I was doing some dandelion research, that the seeds, when they're all fluffy like this, are called pappy. Okay? And it's the same thing for, what's the stuff that monarch butterflies eat? The milkweed. When the milkweed get all downy, downy seeds are called pappy. So that's kind of a general term for downy seeds, which I thought was pretty cool too. So much to learn. Well, it's time for you to go enjoy some delightful dandelions and maybe have a greater appreciation for the ones that are growing in your yard. And don't forget, when you find a full head of seeds, you're supposed to blow on them and make a wish. And if you blow all the seeds off, your wish comes true. So have a great day and enjoy the outdoors. Oh, I think I get my wish. buddy. Hi.